Johnathan White. I'm a long sprinter on the track team at Malone University. The Lord to me is like everything and then some. Like I was always taught that He's close. He'll stick with me closer than a brother. Like He's the one and only. Like He's everything. So God is like to me, like is irreplaceable. Like nobody would come between me and God. I feel like now in the sense of like my relationship with Him. My relationship didn't really start with Him until like my senior year of high school. Like I always would like pray, like I always believed in Him, but like I didn't really chase Him. I didn't really chase a relationship with Him up until like my later years of high school. And then my senior year, the summer going into my senior year was when I decided to fully give my life to Christ, to walk that path of righteousness with Him. And then ever since then, it's been the greatest decision I've made just because of all like everything that has happened. I feel like since that moment was because of how faithful I am to God and how I try to live my life through Him. See, God has always been like my backbone when it came to like certain decision making and stuff. Like I always let God guide my steps. I always talk to Him and pray just about really any circumstance, whether it's track or life. I always try to keep God first. And then I feel like He really put me in this position to be at Malone just because I wasn't going to be at Malone at first. I didn't even think I'd run track at first in college. Like even in my later seasons of like high school, I was still trying to chase like that basketball dream. And then through a friend, I had this opportunity to come here, and I just really think that was God trying to tell me like this is where I need to be. Sports to me, they kind of mean like, I won't say they mean everything to me, but sports mean a lot to me just because I've always grown up playing sports. Like as long as I can remember, I've been playing sports, whether that was football when I was younger, basketball throughout my earlier childhood or later childhood and up until like my senior year of high school. Even now I still play recreationally and track, picking that up throughout the end of my middle school years and into my high school years. It's always been like something I feel like I had to do just to like stay busy and stay occupied, just because I feel like if I'm not playing sports, it's so easy to like get caught up in the world aspects of things and not like have yourself focus on something that'll keep you disciplined and always on point with something. So I feel like sports with me draw me closer to being a better Christian just because it keeps me out of everything else. It's just to stay in shape for basketball for real. Like I didn't really like think too much of it. I didn't really think to like go far with it. I knew there was opportunities with track, but like my goal was always to go for basketball. And then later in my high school years, I kind of just fell out of love with basketball, and I was seeing more traction with track when it came to like my recruitment status and whatnot. So I was like, I gave more effort to track than I did basketball, but I looked more towards my future with track than I did for basketball. I always try to just envision myself like in my race, and then I always try to tie God into it, just because it's like it's not me that's running this race, it's God carrying me through the line, you know. So like I always try to keep that in mind, and I always try to make sure that when I envision myself running, I always envision myself setting a personal best. So I always be like, that's not me setting a personal best, that's God carrying me through that personal best. Yeah, I always try to just tie everything I do into giving my glory to God, just because without Him, I wouldn't even be running track. So like, He sets the opportunities for me to actually go out there and compete. Once I did get baptized, I would say that's when like, you really start to see the enemy try to like come after you, just because He knows that you're serious about your faith, and that He knows that he needs to get you. Because like if you're not serious about it, He's kind of already have you, so He's not really worried about those type of people. But I'd say I really felt it most when I first came into college. Everything was different, like everything changed, and like it was kind of like a huge adjustment for me. Like I was underperforming my freshman year, like towards the beginning, and honestly, it kind of just felt like I was put in a box. Because like I came from high school, you know, being at the top of the team, you know, being the team captain for 3 years, I was always excelling like in my events during high school, multi-time city champion, and then I came in here and I got dead last at conference. So it was like, that was kind of like a gut wrencher for real, and it kind of made me question my faith and my decisions and why I decided to come here. And then I sort of surrounded myself with the people who really were like trying to see me succeed and who were also like firm believers. So they kind of like instilled in me like, hey, this is just all a part of God's plan, and we always made sure that we stayed on our word, we stayed disciplined through God, and then I started seeing the improvement, and I actually got happier too. So it was like, okay, now if God's not real, then how do you explain this type of thing? Because like, it really was just like, it was a test of my testament. Like, it was a test of my faith. That's what it was. And as long as I kept that faith, I tried to keep it as hard as I could. And I always kept God first, like even before races, after races, I always thank God for the opportunities that He's gave me. And it showed throughout the season just because of me getting better and me staying rooted in my faith. And it just helped me become an overall better person and a better teammate. I would say things that changed my perspective on things. You know, it's not always about me. Like one thing that I've been really heavy on this year was making sure that the people around me were actually better than me, because I know if I make the people around me better than me, then it gives me something to work towards. So in my mind, I always want to see my teammates in better positions than I am, just because I know that even though it's an individual sport, there's still team aspects within it, and I just want to make sure everybody around me is getting the best out of it that they can. To me, I think I'm just an imperfect person that's trying to chase a relationship with the perfect person, you know? Because we all fall short, we all sin, we're born in a sin, shaped in iniquity. Like, it's no beaten sin, but I feel like embracing that you are imperfect, you can chase righteousness with God and try to be as perfect as you can be. As long as you're living through Him and having Him guide your steps, I feel like everything will fall into place. I say, like, if you're really like, if you're still in the lukewarm phase of your faith and like you really are just thinking about, is this really the choice that I want to make? Is this really something that will be worth it? Like, is this what it really is? I'd say just step out and go for it, just because you can't regret having a relationship with God. I feel like a lot of people are just scared to step out because of what they think people around them would think of them, or like how they think they'd be viewed. And honestly, it doesn't really matter how you're viewed by people around you. It matters how you're viewed by the man up above, just because at the end of the day, you got to answer to Him. So it's like, why not just go out and just at least give it a try? Like, if you give it a try and you're not satisfied, well then, hey, you could at least say you tried. Like, but I mean, I would definitely say if you're thinking about doing it, do it. It's not really much to think about. Just go out and do it.